I can see it. I can see it. Welcome to the Daytona International Speedway. Hello, everybody. I am Ryan Gable. Alongside me is Jordan Owens. Tonight, we are live here on the Elite Racing Network for the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge here from the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, a 3.56-mile, 11-turn road course, and we are using the regular layout, no NASCAR chicane here tonight out of turn 4 of the Speedway, turn 4. So this is the normal Daytona road course for a 34-lap event. So this is bound to be an exciting show. Back on a road course for the first time since the only other road course race of this season was race number 5 at Road America, which was dominated by the road course ace of R.C. Enerson, who started on the pole and won that event back on March 8th. And he is expected to do well again. He was the fastest car in practice by well over half a second. And we expect R.C. Enerson to be fast again tonight in the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge here for the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. This is the first race of the chase. 14 drivers locked themselves in after last week at Martinsville. And we'll have to see when they cut down to 9 after the next 3 races tonight at Daytona, next week at Charlotte, and the week after we go to Talladega Superspeedway to end the first round of the chase. So qualifying just underway now. And Jordan, what do you expect in tonight's road course challenge?
Well, other than the obvious, being RC at the front, I'm actually expecting more passing opportunities by us using the regular road course layout instead of the NASCAR style. I always feel like that chicane on the front stretch spreads you out so you can't make any moves in the turn 1. So I think we'll see more passing there tonight for sure.
Yeah, I got to agree with you on that one. I think the big positive we have here on iRacing compared to real life is the reason for that front straightaway chicane in real life out of Speedway turn number 4 is safety. And luckily on iRacing, there's no such thing as safety. The drivers is not something we have to worry about when it comes to these races. The cars, of course, we'll see them possibly get torn up as they'll be flying into turn number 1 after going all the way through Speedway 3 and 4 and through the tri-oval as they get on the brakes. They'll be getting on the brakes probably before the start-finish line, if I have to imagine. But this is going to be a wild, wild race here from the Daytona International Speedway Road Course. I'm excited to see how it goes. Qualifying just gotten underway. They get 10 minutes to do as many laps as they can, practically. And the first laps are just getting clocked right now. And, man, R.C. Enerson just went even faster than he did in practice. His best time in practice, which was the fastest of all drivers, was a 148.442. He just put out a 148.3, which is on top of the charts right now. Only a couple drivers now, 9, have put down a lap time. And we'll have to see if anybody can get ahead of R.C. Enerson as he looks for a pole. And, of course, Enerson is in the chase. He has 2 wins on the season. He went back-to-back back at the beginning of the season. He won races 4 and 5 at Las Vegas, and then he won at Road America and has not won since then, but came home a really solid, I believe, third in the point standings. Yes, third in the point standings at the end of the regular season, and he is the second seed with 27 playoff points to start the playoffs here. The playoff point leader, though, and the regular season champion, Tyler Fode, is the number 1 seed with 31 points bonus to start off the chase. He right now is third fastest with a 149.2. But expect Enerson to run really well here tonight in that number 50 car. He is on the top of the charts right now. Looking at Chris Wright in the number 69, a recent winner, recent first-time winner as well, back at Darlington just 2 races ago. Chris Wright is the 3rd seed, tied with Matthew Weeks, actually, is the 3rd seed coming into the playoffs here. Expect a really good run from that 69 camp throughout the chase.
Yeah, shoots up to 6 so far. About a second off the pace.
Yeah, still nobody within striking distance of R.C. Enerson. The next best lap is over 8/10 off. That's Ryan Lutz in second right now. It is Lake Norman Motorsports 234 with Lutz, Fode, and Leininger. Also wanted to give a quick shout out while we have time here as you're watching Hank Steinmiller spin out through the International Horseshoe. This is the FMX Daytona Challenge, and FMX is a leading provider of facilities and maintenance management solutions that help organizations accelerate operational excellence. Their CMMS software enables you to streamline processes, increase asset productivity, and turn actionable insights into meaningful results. Check them out at gofmx.com. So make sure to check them out. We want to thank them for coming on board for this race here tonight, the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge.
Yeah, we're watching Thomas Sherman right now. I think he's on a flying lap.
Sherman yet to set a lap time, so coming to the stripe here out of Speedway 4 and down towards the tri-oval. Let's get a speed on Sherman as he comes across the stripe doing 190 as he hits the stripe and immediately gets on the brakes. It looks like he went off track on that lap, or maybe was just getting up to speed, because he has yet to set one. That one did not count, and a rough start into turn number 1. Runs it wide. We're going to see that a lot tonight. Guys going wide off in turn number 1. Saw it a lot in real life, and they had the chicane to help them out and slow them down. And we're going to be flying down into turn number 1 here without that chicane before the tri-oval.
Here's Gerald Campbell. He's running a little bit different of a paint scheme this week. FRN's getting a lot of love from those guys at PRC.
You see him going through the back straightaway chicane. Damian Leininger just jumped up to second by a skosh over Ryan Lutz. Would you believe it, R.C. Enerson just went even faster, just broke the 148 second bracket, a 147.92. Puts him way up on everybody. Ooh, but Ryan Lutz, Tyler Fode, David Tooker all just simultaneously jumped up on Damian Leininger. Leininger falls to 5th, put Lutz second with a 148.804, and Fode with a 48.890 in third. Tooker a 149.097 in fourth, as we still have about a minute and a half before the timer hits 0. A couple guys trying to get some laps in before the time runs out. Also wanted to shout out here while we have a second is the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. Of course, has to thank SMRI Productions for coming on board and sponsoring the series. SMRI is an independent record label and media company that exists at the intersection of creation, media, and technology. Focus on delivering comprehensive digital content with organic media for all of your digital needs. They also provide multiple avenues of content consumption, making sure that you're always in control. As a content provider, SMRI offers a unique, ever-growing catalog to fit your needs for any bespoke media desire. So that is SMRI Productions. Of course, they came on board here for the SMRI Productions Grand National Series as we watch Hank Steinmiller come around the high banks of the Daytona International Speedway. And also wanted to mention that in tonight's event, we will have a competition caution at the completion of lap 8. I expect that to come out and the whole field to come down pit road and get all fuel and tires. And then there is one expected pit stop during the green flag run after that. Cautions are admin controlled, so we have an off-track admin who will be watching the race as qualifying has come to a close here, who will be watching the race and administering cautions if the track is completely blocked and if that is needed. The chances of that are on the low side, but definitely not zero. I remember as we saw this season in the Cup race, there were multiple cautions that came out due to incident in the narrow portions of the racetrack. This track, of course, is fairly wide, so the chances of a track blocking accident are probably on the low side, but they do exist for sure. So as the field hits the grid on the back straightaway on the Daytona Superstretch, it is R.C. Enerson taking the pole again and sweeping the poles on the 2 road courses here this season for the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. So Enerson on the pole. Ryan Lutz will grid second. He came just under a second off the pace of R.C. Enerson, so that tells you how big of a gap there is from first to second. Demrine through the rest of the field, so we'll run through the lineup here, but strong showing on the hot lap by R.C. Enerson, and I expect more of that as this race goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of gap RC can pull out before the competition caution. Of course, we could also be giving him a commentator's curse here too, but I think it's safe to say he's in a category of his own tonight.
Yeah, that is more than likely the case. As we get through the rest of the grid, there is 30 cars registered. We'll see how many start. It should be about all of them. But getting ready for the first race of the chase here in the Grand National Series, brought to you by SMRI. Also wanted to shout out C2 Freight Resources and Services. C2 Freight offers complete freight management services, and they're ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of goods, from perishable foods to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to the necessary equipment, including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, multi-axle, heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. So make sure to check out C2 Freight and their services online as the Porsche safety car leads the field into Speedway turn number 3. A field of 30 cars set to take the green for what should be an exciting road course race here, the second and final road course race of the season. Coming down to the start-finish line, getting ready for the green flag to drop. And here we go. The Porsche pace car drops in, and it's R.C. Enerson leading the field to the green flag for the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge for the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, and the beginning of the chase as Enerson barrels into turn number 1.
Yeah, RC got a great jump there. Tyler Fody was able to get by his teammate Ryan Lutz for second.
Clean through turn 1, lap 1. So far, so good. Blauman sneaks out in front of David Tooker. And does anyone have anything for R.C. Enerson? Not yet. But the battle for fourth is on. Blauman still struggling, but staying ahead of David Tooker as the field eases their way through the International Horseshoe.
Pretty clean start for these guys so far. Of course, as I say that, we got
Ryan
one off.
Goes off in the grass just before the Western Horseshoe.
Oh, Chad Frankenfield gets spun
hard in the wall. Damian
wall.
Leininger. He nosed in big time in contact with two guys that tend to find each other on the racetrack in a bad way a lot. Heavy contact for both of those cars. To go back and take a look at that one. It looks like Damian just got the slightest bit loose, and you see the nose stick over to the right and catch Chad Frankenfield in the left rear and turn them both into the wall. Staying green, though. No caution comes out for that incident.
Chad's car doesn't look too bad, but Damien's is pretty much destroyed.
It is, which is unfortunate. Both of those drivers are chase contenders here. They are both in the chase for the championship, and they are down early. Also, Thomas Sherman off the pace on the banking, but he's getting back rolling now. Looks like no damage to his car. He might have just had a corner cutting issue there, but still clean and green for the top 4 cars. R.C. Enerson already pulling a gap close to 3 seconds on Tyler Fode, our regular season champion, runs second.
Good battle here with Ryan Lutz and David Tooker, Ryan Blauman, Chris Wright. All these guys real close together.
As they come on through the kink and into the Western Horseshoe. Turn number 5. See David Tooker right behind Ryan Lutz, who made a mistake there on lap number 1 and fell back from the second starting position. Lutz has gotten his way back past Tooker, but Tooker still right there behind him. And again, these drivers know that this is probably the shortest run of the race, is this 8-lap run to the competition caution. At the completion of lap number 8, they will throw the yellow, and everyone will come down pit road. Of course, you think, well, 8 laps isn't that much. Well, when you're on a road course that's over 3.5 miles long, that's a lot. It really does a toll on the tires in a short amount of laps. So any cautions we get throughout this race will more than likely trigger a field. Matthew Weeks is around in the bus stop chicane on the back straightaway. Stops it just before he noses it into the tire barrier, but losing tons of time here as he gets back rolling, and he's merging right in the middle of this pack. Another chase contender. Around early was running 9th. No damage though. We still got time to rebound, but that's going to hurt him early.
Yeah, the consolation there is that he doesn't have any damage. So.
Yeah, still a long way to go, and he kept it out of the wall. It was a self-spin, no contact, so stay green, and he is still in a clean race car, most importantly. Well, R.C. Enerson is now up to a 4.1 second lead, just put out the fastest lap of the race, a 149.1, as he is hitting his marks perfect as we continue through this race. 2 laps complete now.
Yeah, he is on an absolute tear. He's lapped over a full second faster than anyone else.
As expected, of course, that Lucas Oil Racing School of Racing Ford Mustang is gone, while second through basically Chris Wright in 6th, Brian Blauman in 5th at least, are pretty close to each other, nose to tail from Fode through Blauman. It's a pretty tight race right there. One mistake and you're behind everybody in that group.
The field has quickly gotten spread out here.
Yeah, fairly spread out as expected on a road course of this size, especially early in the going. You're going to see this happen throughout a run especially, but once tires start to wear, you're going to see guys start to reel each other in as things start to get exciting. Now 3 laps complete. Pits will close at the completion of lap 6 as well, is another thing to mention. So it makes it a little tougher to short pit, especially at a road course of this size. I think short pitting before the completion of lap 6 to stay out at the competition caution is going to be a major disadvantage, just because the amount of miles you're going to be putting on the tires. As you see, Damian Leininger gets back at Chad Frankenfield into turn 1. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. He was making a move on, I believe that's Chad Thornquist possibly next to him, and he got into him, and now Damian has gotten into Chad. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or what, but he got into Chad and turned him around in turn 1. Chad going to fall even further back.
I was just wanting to comment on them coming back through the field. right when that happened.
Yeah, Damian, he got on the brakes. It looked like he was braking it hard enough when he came into the corner, and all of a sudden he wasn't. And he found the right rear of Chad Frankenfield, turned him around. So the rivalry between those two, which has been something that has existed for a while, they always seem to find each other on this racetrack, or any racetrack at any series. Those two come together. And, man, they found each other again there in turn one, and it may have been on purpose. I'm not so sure. And we saw enough on-purpose action going on back at Martinsville, and it has carried over here to the Daytona road course.
Yeah, I'm surprised with how quick Damian still is with all that damage, given this is a very high-speed road course. But he's making it work.
Yeah, that's very true. Most road courses you could probably get away with. I mean, he's got some major damage. I don't know if he could get away with that most anywhere, as he's also got some handling problems as he's sliding through the grass all over the place. But, I mean, he's definitely, as Matthew Weeks looks like, he also spun around there in the pink machine, in the pink Toyota, in the bus stop again, where he had issues earlier. But at a place like Sonoma, you'd probably be able to get away with it fine, because you're never getting even wide open at that place. But here at Daytona, you're going basically through the entire oval section of this speedway, and down on a ton of power for sure is Damian Leininger. So as cars start to struggle for grip, if they weren't already, as these tires are getting chewed up, it is still R.C. Enerson with a near 5-second advantage over the Lake Norman Motorsports duo of Tyler Fode and Ryan Lutz. And you got the Pro Edge Racing driver of David Tooker in the 4th position, and in 5th, Brian Blauman. The top 5 has remained practically the same since about lap 1 or 2, but still fairly close from 2nd through 5th. Also wanted to mention a good run going on right now. Kendall Noah Player started 13th up to the 10th position. Zach Evans behind him running 11th from 16th. Also, Tate Lytle just got passed by Thomas Sherman, so Lytle runs 13th. He joined this session at the very last second, got no practice, started 22nd at the rear of the field practically, and he is driven up to 13th. So a solid run by Tate Lytle. I've noticed him sliding around a little bit throughout the race, but he's starting to find the handle on that number 56. Sort of, kind of, as he slides it through the bus stop.
A bunch of these guys here actually didn't get to set qualifying time, so they started in the very back. Josh Clark, Hank Steinmiller. They've all worked their way up inside the top 15.
Yeah, biggest mover right now. It's close between a couple guys that started at the rear, including Josh Clark, and Tate Lytle. Josh Clark, a chase contender, started 24th, has moved into 13th position. Hank Steinmiller struggling right now, but he has moved forward from he started 21st. He is up to 14th right now. The battle for second is very close. Ryan Lutz just dirt tracked it onto the speedway as he came out of turn 6. He lost a ton of time to Tyler Fode with that one little slide. That's all it takes. So R.C. Enerson continuing to cruise to an easy lead. Coming to the completion of lap 6, the pit lane will close as he crosses the line here. Nobody decided to short pit, which is probably the good decision to make, is just to pit when the caution comes out here at the completion of lap number 8. So the pit lane is now closed. And in 2 laps' time, we will have our one and only competition caution. No stage cautions in this race like the Elite Racing League had done in the past, was stage cautions for road courses, but we're going to just have one competition yellow here in this one.
Yeah, and I would say all these guys cannot wait to get that caution so they can come get a fresh set of tires. Lap times have dropped off over 2 seconds already.
Good battles happening around 9th, 10th, and 11th position. Guys are swapping spots left and right. Thomas Sherman and Tate Lytle moving their way through past Kendall Noah Player. Josh Clark, who was Kendall Noah Player, just laid the left rear sideways all the way through the International Horseshoe. He's got Clark, Steinmiller, and Zach Evans all piled up behind him. Right in front of these guys is Tate Lytle getting aggressive, trying to make a move on Sherman. Which Sherman passed Lytle earlier. Those two have been back and forth a few times during this race.
It's like,
As you see, yeah, Kendall got a little tight out of there. He loses the spots to Clark and Steinmiller. He either lost it on entry or just let them go. Either way, they're going to get on by. Clark and Steinmiller up a position. Battle in front of them. Here's Lytle to the inside into the bus stop. A really tight spot. Sherman, he's going to think the better of it and let him go. Maybe do a crossover move here as Lytle drove it in a little too deep. Sherman's going to set him up for the exit, but not enough. Lytle's going to get clear and get a good run on exit. He gets on by. And Hank Steinmiller is going to get around Josh Clark on the exit of the bus stop as well. Clark going to line him back up in the draft here, get a big run. He's ahead for turn number 1. Let's see if he decides to go for it. Steinmiller's going to block the bottom. See if Clark dives it in there on the top or bails out.
you can see from the exhaust pipes, they're pretty much on the brakes as soon as they cross the start-finish line.
Yeah, I think that tends to be the breaking point when you're making laps around this place is the start-finish line itself. So it's a really, really high speed and then slow braking zone through that corner. You see Zach Evans trying to make a move on KNP in the 94. Ooh, Evans tried to get the power down, but on these old tires, they just did some spinning and not a lot of biting. And he got loose out of the International Horseshoe there. They're going to single file back out until the next person makes the next mistake. As we head on to the last lap, or actually the finish of the stage is coming up here, or the finish to the competition caution rather, as Enerson is rounding the bus stop on the back straightaway, has broken to over an 8.3 second lead as of crossing the stripe last time. It's a close battle for second, but it looks like Fode's going to hold on to that position. But here comes R.C. Enerson out of the turn 4 of the Speedway at Daytona, and the caution flag is out. The one and only scheduled yellow flag of this event is out, and R.C. Enerson has led from the drop of the green flag as the Porsche safety car exits the pit lane.
Looks like RC got up to right around a 9-second lead in those 8 laps.
That's a very impressive number. You got to say it. That's impressive. 9 seconds in, 8 completed laps. He is gaining about over a second a lap on these guys, and this is not a slow field of drivers. This guy just knows what he's doing on the road courses, and it's really impressive.
After all that first lap chaos and with Chad Frankenfield, Damian Leininger made it back to 18th.
Yeah, Frankenfield the 25th. Matthew Weeks, who we saw lose control of the car a few times, he sits 26th, 25th now. 24th now, Matthew Weeks is. The positions continue to change. There's Harrison Talon. Looks like he has lost it in turn number 1. But man, these tires, definitely you could see the fall off as guys were struggling and continue to struggle to get around this racetrack. Let's see if he can hang on to that. Oh, he does.
Wow.
We can call that a save or just a let go of everything and maybe it'll save itself. But Josh Robin may not be enjoying himself that much, or at least he's trying to make himself enjoy himself getting around this racetrack here. But that's Josh Robin. He unfortunately did not make the chase this season. Came close, but he was the second driver out, the second loser, if you want to put it that way. He was 16th out of the top 14 that make it, so himself, also Vincent Isabella, barely missed the cutoff for the chase. He was in going into Martinsville and got taken out in a late accident and knocked him out of contention for the championship.
I believe Vincent might be one notable name missing tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's kind of what happens with a lot of guys who are in contention to win a championship and they come here to win the championship is if you get knocked out and you don't make it into the chase, then there's no point making all the races. And you see the field size sort of come down, and especially at road courses too, in an oval-driven stock car league where everyone here likes the ovals, we're going to lose a couple guys. Only 30 cars in this race, but that's still a solid number. And I expect that to go up for the remainder of the season as we go back to the ovals, especially Charlotte next week, and Talladega the week after.
And got to hand it to David Westergreen there with some creative maneuvering to avoid the wall.
Yeah, you got to do it sometimes.
He's in 29th, so he's not having the greatest of nights, but he's still got a clean car.
Most importantly, he does. And here comes the field down pit road. Everybody's going to be coming in for 4 tires and fuel, because those tires are torn up, and so are the brakes. That's for sure, too, going down into that first corner. If this was real life, we'd see brake rotors glowing red. I don't know if we can here on iRacing, but coming down pit road either way is the number 50 RC Enerson. He stops on his box perfectly. And let's see if he can get a good 4-tire stop here and get out before Tyler Fode and Ryan Lutz. The car is right behind him. He does. RC is going to stay in first. Ooh, it was really close for second. Looks like Tyler Fode barely hangs on to that spot over Ryan Lutz as the rest of the field comes on out of the pits. Looks like David Carpenter in the 71 missed his box, so he's going to have to come back in. Also, there's a couple guys that stayed out. Kendall Noah player and Josh Robin, they are more than likely going to be coming in next time by. Some guys fixing damage as well. Damien Leininger, Chad Frankenfield, David Westergreen, Michael Daniel Martinez, Tyler Riggs, Harrison Talon, all in there fixing damage to their automobiles as we are under the one and only scheduled caution of this race. Still coming to 24 to go, I believe, this time by. And we should be taking the one to green next time by as well.
And while the field gets caught up here, we'll take this moment to take a quick break and be right back.
Richmar Florist makes every day a special day. From weddings and large events to that little something for any occasion. Richmar Florist has the perfect floral expression, and they're open online 24/7 at richmarflorist.com. Everywhere, every day. Richmar's 2 retail locations offer a fantastic selection of floral creations, gifts, and home decor. Book your free consultation in our showroom for your special event needs, and visit us online at richmarflorist.com today.
So we got to thank
on Belly Up Sports TV.
All right, so we got to thank Richmar Florist and Erska, of course, for coming along and giving those great commercials as we hit the 1 to green here at Daytona. Richmar Florist, serving the Lehigh Valley and beyond since 1955, has grown into one of the most recognizable floral names in the racing world. Richmar Florist offers delivery around the corner or around the world with a simple and easy-to-use website, www.richmarflorist.com. Offers selections for any of life's special occasions. Richmar Florist is proud partners with Pocono Raceway, Dover International Speedway, and drivers across all 3 of NASCAR's premier series. Support the family-owned company who supports your favorite sport virtually and at the track. Call or order online today. So I want to thank Richmar Florist and Erska. Jordan, where's Erska racing tonight?
Erska's at North Wilkesboro tonight.
That should be a fun one. North Wilkesboro tonight. Their races take place right after ours do here on our Monday nights on the Elite Racing Network for the Elite Racing League. And coming to the green, Josh Robin decided to pit at the 1 to green, as I expected Kendall Noah player to as well, but KNP's going to pull a little strategy here. He's staying out for the restart as the leader. Stealing some laps, led from R.C. Enerson, and Josh Robin led the last one, and KNP will probably lead this one. As long as he can get some grip when he takes off here, he will lead this lap. But R.C. Enerson starting in the 2nd position.
It's a very interesting strategy call. I'm kind of wondering if he's going to follow the pace car down pit road here.
I would think that would be best for him, because he will be astronomically slower than the field, not because he's a bad driver or anything, but because his tires have got 8 green flag laps on them, and they are going to be multiple seconds off the pace. I mean, even if you look at R.C. Enerson, his fastest lap number 2, was a 149.1. His last lap before the caution was a 152 flat. So that is almost 3 seconds off the pace compared to fast lap. And that is a big difference when it comes to fresh versus old tires. And from now to the end, no cautions that are guaranteed, no stage breaks, no nothing. So we are green flag to the end, possibly, and that's what these guys are going to plan on. So possible green flag pit stop as well. I expect drivers to split this final 24 laps or 23 laps once we take the green into 2 11 or 12 lap segments, but anything could happen here. You could stretch it, you could short pit. We'll have to wait and see what these guys try to pull. I wouldn't be surprised if the guy second on back tried to pull something to beat R.C. Enerson, but I don't know. His gap's going to be so big it's going to be tough to do, but here we go. Pace car is in. Kendall Noah player is going to cross the stripe and lead the lap as we barrel down into turn number 1. He's got to get off the gas early, and Tyler Fode with nowhere to go pile drives him into turn 1. No caution's going to come out, but Tyler Fode did get some pretty good left front damage. And David Westergreen has also gone around with Dustin Dewar in turn 1, but the majority of the field is clean and green through into the International Horseshoe. Some close racing throughout the field, but everybody surviving through that corner and into the kink now. R.C. Enerson has driven away with the lead.
Yeah, that was about the worst possible outcome KMP could have had right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he stayed out like that, because, I mean, that's honestly the outcome I sort of expected out of that, when you have to lift so much earlier to make the corner and everyone else on fresh tires behind you has got to go. And he was right in front of Tyler Fode, and Fode had nowhere to go, and damaged Fode's left front a little bit, but tore up Kendall Noah player a lot worse. So both drivers feeling the aftermath of that, but R.C. Enerson driving away. Tyler Fode still second, Ryan Lutz still third, Brian Blauman up to 4th over David Tooker. And that is your top 5, as they have already strung out quite a bit here in just the first half lap since the restart. Through the bus stop chicane, everybody sliding on through. Looking clean. One car, Zach Evans, is going to miss it completely, go through the grass. He's going to have a slowdown penalty, but no damage to his car, most importantly. And across the stripe, R.C. Enerson back to the lead.
Built a pretty good lead there, about 1.4 seconds.
Battle for second is getting a little close. Ryan Lutz has been right behind Tyler Fode for the majority of this one. Lutz has proven to be a pretty solid road course racer himself. Has had some pretty good results here and there at different road courses and different series in these stock cars, and running well again, currently third.
It looks like Josh Robin, when he pitted, he actually decided to retire from the race. And Thomas Sherman has also retired as well.
Yep, and Gerald Campbell also sits in the pits 3 laps down in the 30th and final position. And Dustin Dewar was involved in a little bit of an incident there in lap 1 on the restart. He has found himself in the pits with some extensive damage. He sits 27th and is a lap behind now. 26 cars remain on track on the lead lap and in this race. Ooh, Tyler Riggs just stuffed it big time into the turn 6 wall before the entry to the speedway. He has had quite the struggle. I've seen him a few times go off the racetrack. He just buried it big time and has lost a hood on that race car.
Yeah, that car's looking a little rough for wear.
You could say that again. He went in quite a bit too deep into turn 6.
I was just about to mention Chad Frankenfield. He's worked his way back up to 10th.
Yeah, he has. He's moving forward. Damian Leininger has also moved his way back up a few spots. He stayed in the pits for quite a while, fixing damage, currently in 12th.
He's got a front bumper back on the thing at least.
Yeah, that always helps. Not sure if he wants to... Ooh, as he almost lost it on that wall to the inside there, coming out of turn number 1. We'll have to see if Damian wants to use that front bumper again if he manages to catch back up to Chad Frankenfield, but I think you could say they've gotten even if they weren't even already. But Leininger, a few positions behind Frankenfield.
There's Tate Lotto. He's up to 8th place.
Yeah, solid rebound after starting from the rear with no practice. Started 22nd. Oh, Nick Massey almost caught him in the left rear there. Almost had a little incident. Everybody holds on to it, though. That battle for second has been fairly close. Lutz has fallen off a little bit. He's got himself a good run out of the bus stop here on his teammate.
Yeah, he's going to be able to take advantage of the draft all the way around the turn 1.
And he might have a chance here. That Miss Goodies number 36 has got a run on the days gone by. Vintage Racing Apparel number 40. He's going to go to the inside here as we head for turn 1. Who's going to break earlier? Game of chicken here. They both drove in very deep, really deep for Ryan Lutz. Let's see if he can get that thing woed up in time. I don't know. No, he really didn't. Fode's going to cut him some slack and let him regroup, and Lutz up into that second spot. I saw how deep they braked way past the start-finish line. And, man, they both overshot the corner. Lutz was lucky he got it woed up as much as he did. But Lutz up to second, Fode third. Blauman is in 4th, having a solid run. David Tooker in 5th.
Yeah, Blauman and Tooker really are the beneficiaries of all that. They're caught back up in this battle for second now.
Chad Frankenfield making a move for 9th on Nick Massey. That beaten up number 15 Ford Mustang. The TD Custom Designs in Richmar Florist Ford moves up a position. while we have a moment of calmness here, I wanted to give another shout out to C2 Freight and their EDI services. C2 Freight offers electronic data interchange services which allow shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about EDI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight. So that's C2 Freight's EDI services. And again, thank them for coming on board and sponsoring the Elite Racing League. And usually you'd see a Cup race, the JoinAPS.com Cup Series, on Wednesday nights here, but we have a week off this week for the Cup Series, so no race Wednesday night. Ooh, as Ryan Lutz just went almost all the way off into the grass in the horseshoe there, but he's going to gather it up and hold on to the position. But yeah, no Cup race this Wednesday night. They have the week off. IndyCar race last Friday night. Their Indianapolis 500 qualifying is coming up soon, as well as the Indianapolis 500 itself. So that is a highly anticipated event. That's on a Friday night. That's when the IndyCar races are run. I believe Kyle Busch is expected to join us and compete. I will not be competing, but I competed in the last two, and it is an awesome, fun race. The 500 miles of Indianapolis in those Indy cars is so much fun.
Yeah, I believe we have qualifying Friday night starting at like 4:30, something like that.
Yeah, it's the whole experience of qualifying, the whole bump day process of multiple hours of a line of cars. It's fun, and it's cool how realistic Chad Frankenfield puts together the league and everything, and he does a really good job at making the month of May feel like a real month of May for the IndyCar series here on the Elite Racing League. It's a really, really fun league to be a part of. I ran it full-time 2 seasons ago. Last season I ran a couple races, including the Indy 500, and this season I did a couple races as well, as Ryan Lutz is heading to pit lane here. Pit stop's underway with still quite a few laps to go in this one, so an early stop here for Lutz. Also saw Hank Steinmiller came in too just last time by, so Lake Norman Motorsports with something up their sleeves here, pitting fairly early. Yeah. Right at the halfway point of this race, actually. That is a long run to the finish, another 17 laps to go for the 36 cars. He has come down for his 4 tires. Also, could be a 2-stop strategy they're thinking of. Not sure how that's going to go for them, but Ryan Lutz, the second place car, is in and out of the pit lane as he's going to snake his way back onto the racetrack. So that moves Tyler Fode into second and Brian Blauman into third for the time being. We'll have to see if that's a 2-stop strategy or if it's just a short pit strategy here as this race goes on.
Yeah, it looks like Lutz will come back out in 21st. Steinmiller's in 25th.
Yeah, you see Lutz come out there behind Brent Jones in the McConey Setup Shop Chevrolet. Number 89 there. He is running 21st at the moment. Ooh, his Lutz blinked out a little bit there, but he's going to get on by. Brent's going to give him plenty of room. The old tires, that's the difference right there. It's big. But no other takers to the pit lane. We'll have to see this time by if anyone jumps on that strategy. R.C. Enerson does not. He's staying out a little bit longer. We'll have to see if Tyler Fode, teammate to these guys, comes down. Looks like he's going to stay out as well. That's interesting that a teammate is not agreeing with the strategy of other teammates, possibly. I guess Ryan Lutz and Hank Steinmiller have a little more to lose. Hank has been running further back in the field throughout this race, not looking so hot on this road course, but Ryan Lutz not in the chase. He's got a lot to lose. He might as well, or he's got nothing to lose, I guess, so he might as well try something different. Fode got big time wheel hop there into the horseshoe.
Yeah, he did a good
big time loose on the exit.
Yeah, he did a very good job to hold on to that. Lutz is crossing the line now. It's a little over 41 seconds back, but he'll be, 2 seconds a lap quicker, theoretically?
Yeah, He will be. I'm going to see. He just ran. Well, that was his pit out lap, so we'll have to see after he crosses line this time. He is using up all the tires, all the racetrack. You saw him smoking the left side tires or the right side tires. I didn't see which side it was coming into turn 1, but he is using them up. I believe he is on a 2-stop strategy is what's going on right here. So he's trying to gain all he can on these tires and run a short run and then pit one more time while everyone else is conserving and driving on these older tires. He's going to be gaining a lot of time here. I'm curious to see how that strategy works out. Also, if a caution were to somehow fall, then the timing on that could be either play into the hands on Ryan Lutz or the opposite and possibly ruin him. Just all depends on when the caution flies. But still a highly doubtful situation on a caution. Ooh, Tate Lytle has gone off in a big way in the 56 out of the bus stop. Not sure what happened there. He was way out in the grass on the exit of the bus stop.
Don't see any damage.
Now he self-spun coming through the bus stop and overcorrected and threw it way out in the grass. Chad Frankenfield barely missed him. Also, Josh Clark at the same time completely missed that bus stop and had to do a slowdown. And Tate Lytle has decided to come into the pit lane as well as Josh Clark. Could be strategy there. Both Pro Edge racing drivers. Tate Lytle not in the chase. Josh Clark is. Tate Lytle was part-time this season.
RC's built up a gap of over 8 seconds now.
As Tyler Fode runs with Brian Blauman right on his back bumper. David Tooker just got a little loose and lost some ground, but he was right there as well. Second, third, fourth. Brian Blauman showing a really strong run here. He runs in the IndyCar series as well. So he's definitely pretty strong on the road courses too. So expected to see him have a good run, and he's been top 5 all night long. Started 6th, but has been within the top 5 since the get-go, and he is looking to make a jump on Tyler Fode here.
Yeah, Blauman actually has the second highest I rating behind RC here, so he definitely spends a lot of time on the road courses.
Yeah, that is very true. Funny to look at that as Brian Blauman is going to make the move here on the inside of Tyler Fode. He might pick up that position. Fode going to try and cross over, but Blauman parks it on the bottom and doesn't let him get by. Fode's still right there, but Blauman's going to get on the power and drive away from him into the International Horseshoe. David Tooker right there as well as those guys slowing themselves up battling. And another thing to mention, as you were talking about the I rating, the driver with the lowest road I rating in here is Chad Thornquist, who runs 17th. But the next lowest road I rating, that goes to Ryan Lutz with a 787. So interesting that the guy with one of the lowest I ratings on the road side of things is been the second or third fastest car of this race. Of course, he's in the back now because of a short pit strategy he's trying to pull, but knowing Ryan, he does not do a ton of official stuff until fairly recently he got on to the official oval side. He had a 2000, as we got a spinner here, yeah. Chad Thornquist, as we speak of lowest road I rating in the field. We were talking about Ryan Lutz's I rating on oval. He had a 2000 oval I rating, which is significantly lower than you'd expect for somebody who runs top class of the field in this league and wins multiple races a season. And it's just because he didn't do official stuff a lot, and then we got him on to doing it, us at Lake Norman Motorsports, and he shot his I rating, I believe, up to like a 4,500 in the span of a week because he started grinding some official stuff. So that's all it took.
Yeah, I could believe that. You know, it's an arbitrary number, but normally it's a good indicator of, someone's speed, especially for road courses.
Yeah, definitely can be. As R.C. Enerson is maneuvering his way through some smoke here as he approaches lap traffic. That's Kendall Noah Player in front of him, as well as Josh Clark, who they have both come down the pit lane during this run. But looking at Ryan Lutz's lap times compared to RC Enerson, Lutz now has 4-lap-old tires. He just ran. Well, looks like something must have happened to him last time that we missed, because he ran a 2-minute 17-second lap. This time though, he just crossed the stripe, ran a 150.4. That is 1.2 seconds faster than RC Enerson that lap. So think about him running 1.5 seconds or so faster a lap for 5 laps. By the time RC Enerson pits, Ryan Lutz will be your leader most likely. Except for he did run that 2-minute 17-second lap. I'm going to go back and see if I can find what happened to him as we're looking at Ryan Lutz live there.
Yeah, he's up to 13th and climbing.
But it's still clean in that Miss Goodies number 36. And RC Enerson continues to lead as we have 14 laps remaining.
Yeah, Blauman's been able to pull away from Fody and Tooker here.
Yeah, he's looking really strong on this long run. Damian Leiner coming down the pits, as well as Nick Massey. They're both pitting from within the top 10. Nick Massey's been having a quiet but solid run. Good, clean, consistent run, well within the top 10 for the majority of this race. Damian Leininger, on the other hand, has found himself in some trouble throughout this one, but still putting up a solid number. As he's down pit road here. But here's a battle. Look at that 24 car. That's Trevor Elam, who made his debut and ran a really strong race last week at Martinsville. Ran up front for a lot of that event. He's got a decent run going right now. He's been within the top 15. But road course maybe just not his specialty. I love that paint scheme he's got, though, the firefighter emblem on the hood.
It's a chase contender, Chuck Sweeting. He's in 9th. Matthew Weeks has rebounded decently. He finds himself in 10th. They're going to have some company here very soon, though. Ryan Lutz is catching them at about 2 seconds a lap.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how that strategy plays out, because Lutz is putting down some quick times. I mean, lap after lap, he's taking seconds out of the lead of RC Enerson, and by the time they pit, he will be leading this race. And Enerson, I would assume, will have enough time to bounce back, but I'm expecting Lutz to pit again. It's going to be really interesting. I'm curious to see how that pays off, that two-stop strategy, as the battle is on right now. Here comes David Tooker for third on Tyler Fody. He's on the inside through the horseshoe, getting all the racetrack he can with his right sides up on that curbing. They're going to be side by side through the kink here if no one bails out. Tooker's going to bail out. You got to, and he's going to try to get a run on exit into the western horseshoe. Turn number 5. Tooker on the outside, going to try to get a big run here into turn number 6. As you see him run a big wide apex, he caught the grass a little bit on the exit on the bottom. So that kind of hurt him. He didn't get that great of a run. So these guys are slipping and sliding all over the track. Entry, exit, everywhere. As Tooker's going to have the draft as they head toward the bus stop. He gets a little bit loose. Also want to mention Chuck Sweeting, Zach Evans, David Carpenter all on pit road.
Yeah, this continues to be a great battle for third. A little over 12 seconds off the lead.
Oh, Michael Goodman a lap down right in front of these guys, goes off track in a big way. He's going to be out of the way of these two battling for third, though. That 44 car has seen better days. I'd tell you what the sponsor is on the hood, but they don't have a hood anymore. There's Mr. Goodman there. Oh, Tooker's going to come down pit road. Tooker and Birrell, both Pro Edge cars running within the top 10, are on the pit lane together.
I wouldn't be
Birrell,
surprised if we see Matthew Weeks follow him down.
I would have to agree here as we have 11 to go in the race. Looks like Weeks is going to stay on the racetrack, actually. He's trying to make something happen in the 11 car. He has been fast, but made a couple mistakes throughout this one that have hindered him toward the rear of the field. But Blauman continues to pull away from Fode. As you look at Chad Frankenfield here in the 15, has bounced back from some incidents. He runs 5th right now, but still has not made his pit stop.
He's still putting together a great recovery drive, though.
Ooh, Damian Leininger just went off in turn 1. He was almost all the way into the oval turn 1. He went so far off in the 12 car. He locked it up big time. I don't think he remembered he was on the road course. He braked so late. I think he thought he was back on the oval in the Cup race on Wednesday. Some of the drivers that were coming out of turn 6 probably saw him and got scared for a second. He almost came out there and hit him. Well, not really, but sort of. Sort of close there for Damian Leininger as he's trying to rebound from the lap 1 accident.
It's like Brian Blauman's coming down pit road.
Here he comes, and Tyler Fode is following suit. Just 2nd and 3rd place drivers. Down the pit lane, Fode had a really strong entry there. Yep. Closed up on Blauman a little bit. Also, Chad Frankenfield is in. That is everybody, but right now Chris Wright and R.C. Enerson have yet to pit, as well as Matthew Weeks, Trevor Elam, and Harrison Talon are the last ones on the racetrack yet to pit. I expect R.C. Enerson this time, now that he's seen all of his biggest competitors come down the pit lane, I expect him to come down now in reaction to that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Ron Lutz comes out in all of this. He's up to 5th now.
Yeah, he is well ahead of Brian Blauman and Tyler Fode, who have just exited the pit lane. Right next to David Tooker as well. Good battle here as they come out of the pits. Blauman just came out of the pits right outside of Tooker. Fode right behind him. These guys on top of each other just like they never came down the pit lane. Tooker has an extra lap on those tires. These guys, though, have cold tires to deal with for a second. Blauman, though, with a big advantage, holding off Tooker, and he's going to have an extra lap, fresher tires.
That's still a net gain for Tooker, though. He got by Fode from all that.
Yeah, I would have to agree. We'll see if Fode takes his time getting by him, plays the waiting game, or what. But not much of a gap there, but Tooker is in front of Fode. And Ryan Lutz, as you see him there get by Matthew Weeks, who is yet to pit, he is pretty far ahead of these guys. And R.C. Enerson is in the pit lane. Your race leader, we're going to make sure everything goes well for him, because all he needs to do is stop on the box and he'll be fine. But Chris Wright is going to stay out. He's not going to lead this time by. Enerson's already crossed the stripe in the pits, but Chris Wright still has yet to pit. As Enerson hits his marks in the pit box just fine. And you're going to see Ryan Lutz make his way past in a moment. Actually, Lutz is in 3 and 4. It's going to be close whether or not Lutz gets by Enerson at all here.
Well, we'll see.
Enerson on his way out. Ryan Lutz is at the start-finish line. I think Enerson's going to stay out in front. Ryan Lutz pulls the short pit strategy, and that just shows you how dominant Enerson is. Ryan Lutz, 2nd or 3rd best driver, Definitely a top 5 driver on this racetrack right now when it comes to speed in this race in particular. And he short pitted and was not even able to get there. Enerston still holds multiple seconds over Ryan Lutz. And Lutz now with 10 laps on his tires is not going to catch that number 50. And he's either going to stay out to the end or pit again. Still have 8 laps left in this one.
Yeah, we'll have to wait till next time by and see how fast drivers like Brian Blauman and Tyler Fody are in comparison to Lutz.
Yeah, I think if Lutz stays out to the end, he is going to at least be passed by Blauman, Tooker, and Fody, if not more. We got Frankenfield. Looks like something happened to Ethan Barrell. I could have sworn he was right with those guys.
He was.
He's got some damage to the nose of that car. He may have gone off somewhere.
Yeah, his last lap time was a 2:06, so he definitely got off course.
Yeah, he did. I'm going back and looking at it now. It was in, let's see, it might have been in the bus stop. It was. He came around on the exit of the bus stop last time around. Got on the power too early, and it snapped around on him. He nosed it into the safer barrier on the outside wall, and he had to do a 3-point turn to get that thing back around. Chris Wright is in the pits from the lead. He has officially led a lap, so that gives him a very important bonus point here toward the chase. And he comes in the 3rd seed, so a bonus point for Chris Wright leading a lap.
There goes Ryan Lutz in the 2nd.
Only 2 chase drivers have led 1 lap in this race, that being Enerston leading just about all of them, and Chris Wright just stole one there, so that's an important little point that he could have just picked up. And at not much of a disadvantage, he did an extra lap on his old tires. And there's Trevor Elam, who is struggling big time, has yet to pit in that International Association of Firefighters Chevrolet, number 24. Well, he's got Tyler Fody hung up behind him, trying to get out of the way, but it's not easy to get out of the way, especially at a road course like this. Matthew Weeks also yet to pit right behind Elam. And Brian Blauman has got to the bumper of Ryan Lutz, going through Speedway 1 and 2 here.
That last lap by Blauman was super fast. He ran a 49.4.
Wow. That is only 3/10 off of Enerson's best lap of the race. So Blauman with some speed in that 29 car, as long as he's not burning up his stuff, he's got a good shot here at a podium finish. Could very well find himself finishing in 2nd. He is driven away from Fody and Tooker. Fody has not been able to capitalize on David Tooker, so Fody now sits in 5th. 4th of the cars on the same strategy. 5th if you count in Ryan Lutz, who is about to be passed here within the next couple corners by Brian Blauman. And fastest lap of the race has been set by R.C. Enerson, a 1:48.9. So the track is getting faster as the temperatures continue to cool as we head later and later into the night. Ooh, Ryan Lutz getting really loose through there.
Dirt tracking. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can hold on here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what he does. I think he's almost at a point where he's made his bed, and he might just have to stay out for the remainder of this race. I mean, got 7 laps to go. That's a little bit of time, but not enough time to pit and try to fly by these guys. I think Lutz might have to just stay out and hang in there for the rest of this one. Tried something, and it might not work here for him. Surprised he's been able to stay in front of Blauman this long, though. Blauman's been right behind him since the start of this lap.
Yeah, he did a good job getting through the actual road course section, holding on to 2nd.
Yeah, catching someone is one thing, and being faster than someone is one thing, but passing them is a whole nother story. and now Blauman has gotten hung up by Ryan Lutz, and that's allowed David Tooker to reel him in. Blauman forced to go to the outside of Lutz. I don't know if this is going to work. Lutz is going to be at a big advantage here on the bottom. Tires aren't going to matter here through the oval. And Tooker has reeled in Blauman and Lutz. Blauman's going to have the draft and a run. See if Lutz cuts him some slack. It's not looking like he wants to, but I think Blauman's going to be able to outbrake him here into turn 1. As long as he doesn't outbrake himself. Ooh, Lutz might have outbraked himself. Yep, he's going to go sailing off almost into the grass. Hangs onto it and keeps it on the pavement, but Blauman plays it smart there and is able to let Lutz outbrake himself. Now David Tooker going to try to get by, but Lutz is going to hold strong on the bottom, not letting anybody go, as he has every right to do so. He's battling for position just like they are, but Tooker going to get by on the fresh tires, and Lutz is going to bail out before the kink. Oh man, Tyler Fode almost stuck his nose in there, and now Lutz is going to let his teammate Fode go, as second through fourth has now been set.
All the way back up to 6 is Chad Frankenfield.
Solid rebound after 2 accidents within the first 8 laps for competition caution. Chad is a pretty sporty road course racer, that's for sure. Has shown speed at multiple road courses. And as we are here for the SMRI Productions Grand National Series next Wednesday for the next JoinAPS.com Cup Series race, we are at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which is a track that they race at in real life in the Xfinity Series, in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and in IndyCar, and in IMSA as well, I believe. But the Cup Series does not race there in real life. We're going to get a taste of it on the sim on next Wednesday night here on the Elite Racing Network. You can watch that one live at 8:30 next Wednesday night. That is probably going to be pretty fun. I love the road courses personally. I wouldn't say I love that one, but I got to do some learning for sure. But I can hopefully pull off a solid run to start off the chase.
Yeah, I'm usually slower on them, but they're more. I enjoy them, especially in sports cars. So.
Yeah, they're definitely good fun, whether you go at them or you're not. It's good change in scenery from the typical ovals we've got, but definitely going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that race. But here in the SMRI Productions Grand National Series, we've got tonight, of course, the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge you're watching, with just 5 laps to go now for R.C. Enerson. We got that race next week is 150 miles, 100 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Oval, and then Talladega, 200 miles, 76 laps. That's going to be fun in 2 weeks, and that is the cutoff race for the first round of the chase. So that's going to be ever so hectic if Martinsville is a cutoff for the regular season wasn't crazy enough. And then the second round consists of 100 laps at Phoenix, 150 laps at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and an 80-lap race at Auto Club California, Fontana, to close out the second round. And the season finale is at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, 130 laps, 200 miles, June 14th. That is the season finale. So not many races left, really. I mean, 11 down, 7 to go. Well past halfway through this season, as we are on the final road course of the season. Looking at Chris Wright, who's hunting down Matthew Weeks, who still has not pit at all during this run to the finish. I guess his strategy was just to not pit at all, because now it's really too late to pit and gain anything from where he's already put himself. So saw a little bit of everything, I guess. Don't pit at all, pit really early, and then pit when everyone else did, and split in this final stint to the end.
Well, as we talk about it, looks like he's coming down.
He's pitting. That's an interesting call. I mean, I guess you do need fuel. That's why everyone pitted. You do need fuel to make it to the end of this thing. So an interesting call there by Weeks to stretch it all the way to the end of the fuel run. And with just 4 laps remaining, he'll have a lot of work to do, but he'll have a lot of speed to do it in that number 11 Toyota. A driver who is a winner this season at the North Wilkesboro Speedway and a contender for the championship. I think, did he take fuel only? He took fuel only. 3.4 second pit stop there. So that was the strategy on Weeks' end. Fuel only, quick in and out.
He's going to have about, 10, 11 seconds in 12th place, so he might be able to hold here.
Yeah, an interesting strategy call there by Weeks. Going to try to give himself a decent enough finish to go into Charlotte Motor Speedway next week, a track he is really strong at. And then Talladega Superspeedway in 2 weeks is anybody's game over there. So we'll see how he does throughout the rest of this first round. Brian Blauman has driven away in the second position. The battle is for third, if anywhere. David Tooker is slowing back a little bit to Tyler Fode. Last time by, actually, Tooker was half a second faster. This time by, I want to say Fode's reeling him in little by little, but it's really close. Brian Blauman, though, has driven away in the second position, rather.
Yeah,
that time by, Fode gained about 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, Tooker had a pretty rough lap there, a little over 153.
And in case anybody was wondering, you can see it on the ticker on the top of your screen as well, but at the line, R.C. Enerson's official lead was 19.313 seconds. So if it couldn't get any easier, it's getting easier lap by lap for R.C. Enerson. Has a 20-second lead for comparison. Brian Blauman is heading into the West Horseshoe right now. R.C. Enerson is just merging on to the Speedway, turn number 1, out of turn 6 there on the road course. So that is a major lead for R.C. Enerson as he continues to gain nearly a full second a lap on the field.
Chad Frankenfield's in hot pursuit of Ron Lutz now. He's got about 2 seconds to make up here in, 2.5 laps?
Yeah, he does. That's quite a bit of work he's got to do, but he has 8 lap fresher tires, of course, than Ryan Lutz. So a big advantage on the tire side of things as we close in on 2 laps to go in this one. The FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge. Also, Damian Leiniger is running 9th right now. Something we haven't talked about here in a little while after his lap 1 accident. Rebounds to 9th, the driver who barely snuck in the chase on that great run he had at Martinsville last week. Looking to capitalize on an early mistake and accident.
Yeah, I can't believe he's in this position. I thought he was completely junked when the accident happened.
That reminds me of Martinsville last week when he was running up front and his internet lagged him out and put him a lap down. We thought he was done. He rebounded to finish up front again. So
yeah.
Just impressive that he's able to rebound again. He's had to bounce back from a lot of adversity throughout this season, as R.C. Enerson just had to go around a spinning David Westergreen, who stayed off the track and waited for him. But Enerson is getting ready to come to the white flag. You see a battle here. Tate Lytle and Matthew Weeks.
Wondering if Tate's going to let him go for points.
I was going to say the same thing. I think Lytle is letting him go because Lytle's a part-time driver here. He's not racing for anything but a win, and he is not in contention for that, although having a solid run after getting no practice. He was within the top 10. Now he drops to 11th as Weeks is going to jump into the top 10 positions. Also worth noting, Tyler Fode. His unbelievable season is the only way to put it, is continuing here. He has finished in the top 10 in every single race, has only missed the top 5 twice, which is his 2 worst finishes of the season. At North Wilkesboro in Michigan, he finished in 6th. So he has finished in the top 6 every race this season, and that stat looks like it's going to continue as he runs 4th as we take the white flag for R.C. Enerson here in the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge. Yeah, Tyler Fode has 3 wins, 3 second-place finishes, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and 2 6th, and he's looking to bring this one home 4th. The regular season champion has been just flawless throughout this season. Just unbelievable all around. But the road course king, the guy who came home third in the regular season points, two-time winner this season, looking to make it number 3, dominating both road course races this season in that Lucas Oil School of Racing Ford Mustang for Richmar Esports. Going to come through turn 6 and on to the speedway one last time. So he's going to go up through the gears. He's one of only 3 Ford Mustangs in the field. Not many Ford drivers in the Elite Racing League. Himself, Chad Frankenfield. Andrew Rucker is usually in a Ford. He's not here tonight. As we see, Michael Daniel Martinez went for a little ride there. He's going to fall down a lap to Enerson. Also, Zach Evans in a Ford tonight. He runs 15th. And it also looks like Ryan Lutz is going to hold on to 5th. He's got a few seconds on Chad Frankenfield. They still got a while to go. But here comes your winner, sweeping the road courses this season in the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. R.C. Enerson picks up win number 3 for him on the season in the round number 1 of the chase for the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge. R.C. Enerson picks up another one as here comes second place runner Brian Blauman. Having a really solid run. He finishes second. David Tooker's going to hang on to third over Tyler Fody in fourth.
Something happened to Lutz.
I was about to say, I don't know where Ryan Lutz has got a ton of nose damage. Looks like he made a mistake late. Chad Frankenfield's going to steal the 5th position. Chris Wright in 6th. Ryan Lutz going to wind up 7th. I think I jinxed him saying he was going to hold on to it. Something happened to him late in the going. And I mean, it must have been on the back straightaway. Yeah, no other way to put it. He must have heard what I said. He nosed it into the back straightaway wall on his own. Coming through the back straightaway chicane. And he had it made in the 5th spot, and he made a mistake there. Cost him a couple. He winds up 7th. But checkered flag for R.C. Enerson yet again on the road course.
Looks like Matthew Weeks, my man, had a last lap mistake too, and he's going to just keep going.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks going for a wild ride there. He wound up 12th. He did that fuel-only strategy and was struggling on tires that he had since lap 10, so it's a tough thing to do. As you saw, both him and Ryan Lutz fall out of it. But yeah, that's right. Matthew Weeks was running in 10th. He had been given a position by his teammate, made a mistake late in the going, winds up 12th. So Tate Lytle steals the top 10. Damian Leininger finishes 9th after an action-packed race in a bad way for him. Rough race there for Hank Steinmiller, 17th. Bottom of the chase drivers, I believe Josh Clark in 20th will be the worst finisher of the chase drivers here tonight. Here are your results up on the screen as R.C. Enerson's going to burn it down in the grass. Going to get a word with the top 3 in a moment once we get them up in the booth. They're still celebrating on the racetrack. But that Lucas Oil School of Racing sponsored Ford Mustang, R.C. Enerson gets it done here at Daytona. So that locks him into the second round of the chase, so he does not have to worry about Charlotte next week or Talladega in 2 weeks. He moves right on to the round number 2, where the top 9 make it. Phoenix, Bristol, and Auto Club on that list. We're going to bring up Brian Blauman here, he's up in the waiting room, so we're going to get him first. Brian Blauman, it's Ryan Gable up here in the booth. You got me? I'm afraid I can't hear you. I don't know if it's on my end.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, there you are. We got you now. All right, Brian, we got you. Man, heck of a run out there in the 29 car tonight. You've been really consistent and strong this season, and you pulled out a good result on the road course. I mean, what got into you there to get by Tyler Fode? You got by Tooker, you got by all of them there throughout that long run at the end.
Yeah, it's been a very good season, but not getting the maximum results at all the races. But knew it was going to be strong at the road courses, and especially this one. And after rough qualifying, I knew that I could get up to second if I just was patient with those guys. And just took my time and picked them off one by one when the opportunities presented themselves.
Yeah, really solid run for sure. Now, putting yourself in a really good standing. The standings haven't updated yet, but you're going to be in really good shape heading into Charlotte next week, and then Talladega is a bit of a wild card in 2 weeks. How are you feeling heading into the final 2 races of this first round?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all know Talladega is a complete wild card. So the only thing I can really do if I can't win Charlotte is just set myself up the best I can for Talladega. So that's the mindset right now, and going to go to Charlotte with that type of mindset, try and get another solid result there, and hopefully make Talladega a situation where don't need a win or even that great of a result. You can just kind of take it easy and scoot our way in on points.
Well, overall, a really strong run. You were the best of the rest tonight. Brought home a strong second-place finish. Is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go here, finishing second at Daytona?
Yeah, my crew chief and spotter, Rich Kosla, has been with me all season. It's probably the reason I made the chase, and definitely the reason we got P2 tonight with that strategy, just keeping me out there that one extra lap, and got me just out in front of Tooker there, and that was pretty much the race-winning, getting the move that got us second there. So did a great job, and he's been doing an amazing job all season, and looking forward to what we can come up with in the future.
Well, congratulations for the both of you on another strong run, and you've got yourself in a really good spot here heading into the last 2 races of the first round, looking to advance through the chase. Well, moving on here to your third-place finisher, David Tooker. David Tooker, Ryan Gable up here in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, a really strong all-around race you had there at the Daytona road course tonight. I mean, it was pretty quiet up front. You had some really good battles between yourself, Ryan Lutz, Brian Blauman, Tyler Fode throughout the race, and a little bit of pit strategy is what it came down to. Just talk me through your race.
It was definitely a hard fight. Second through fifth, really. It was really, really close on speed. Like you said, RC was just in a whole nother area code compared to everybody else, but that's kind of what you expect with a pro guy like that coming in here and just going all full bore. It felt like every lap and not making a single mistake. So congrats to him on his great race. But there was times where I was like, I felt like I was battling for the lead, but then I realized it was second. So I mean, if that tells you just how much faster he was than everybody else, then there you go. But we had great speed all night. We just had to get ourselves good track position, and I felt like I was easily a second to third place car, especially on the long run. Just that last run, I pushed a little bit too hard and on my rears, and I paid for it. So, but regardless, I'm happy with third, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, overall, you got yourself in a good spot here heading into the next 2 races. You got Charlotte next week and Talladega the week after. How are you feeling about getting through to the next round of the chase? You've got yourself in a really good spot already now.
I'm feeling pretty good about Charlotte. I've ran really well there in the past, championship and second place there. So, I feel like the speed's definitely there. It just comes down to the circumstances, and every single week, we got guys that are faster one day and slower the other. So it kind of just depends on who brings their A game for sure. But Talladega, I don't really have any expectations for that. Just considering how plates go, usually it's always just up in the air, and anybody has a shot to win those. So, I think the goal is to just not get wrecked and see if I can come on with a decent finish. If I can't, get out with a win in Charlotte. So I think that's the plan for moving forward.
Well, congratulations on a good start to your championship defending run that you're on here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, that was your third place finisher, David Tooker. We're going to talk to your race dominator, R.C. Enerson. R.C. Enerson, Ryan Gable up here in the booth. You got me?
Yes, I do.
Man, R.C., you put a whooping on him tonight. You won that thing by 21.175 seconds to be exact. I mean, you had something else in you tonight. That was a dominating performance. Is there anything noteworthy that happened during that race that you can even remember? Because it was pretty quiet for you.
No, yeah, it was pretty much like a practice session, just running laps. I think I was pretty much the same exact pace as the front runners from about lap 3 till about lap 10 on tires, but it was the new tire pace and then the super old tire pace that was just really there. So, and I just saw people were pitting earlier than me, but I think we still had the pace. We had enough of a gap that I wasn't going to get undercut. So I knew I just had to take it easy, get in the pits, get tires changed, come out with a slight gap, and then it was just head down from there, no mistakes.
And just a really solid overall run for sure, and never made any mistakes for the most part. And now you've got yourself locked into the next round of the chase. No road courses there. You got Phoenix, Bristol, and Auto Club Fontana, California in that second round. Is there any of those tracks that really catch your eye as somewhere you can pounce and get into that final four? Do you think it might be a bit of a struggle for you?
I'm getting a lot better at the 1.5 miles, so I think if I'll have a good shot over on that side of things. But I'm also going to be in Indy till like May 30th, from May 7th to May 30th. So I think I'm going to be missing quite a bit of the elite stuff for a bit. So it's gonna be tough. I don't think I'll make it to the championship race, but we'll definitely try.
Well, hopefully we can see you in some more races here, and hopefully we can get you into the championship four, because you definitely deserve a shot at it if you're able to make those races. But congratulations. Is there anyone you want to thank before I let you go?
Just Luke Soul School Racing, you guys up here in the booth, and Chad who runs the league. And yeah, I have a lot of fun doing these, and I hope to keep doing them. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations on another win, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. And good luck in Indy if we don't get you.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, well, there was your race winner, R.C. Enerson, who, yeah, he mentioned it. He will be racing in the Indianapolis 500 this year, which is an exciting thing to see a competitor in the biggest race in the United States in real life here on iRacing with us on the Elite Racing League. But, Jordan, what are your thoughts before we wrap up here?
Well, I think we saw a pretty clean road course race, to be honest. It was a pretty spread out field, but there was a lot of good top battles from second through fifth, and Chad running back through the field. Damien even got a top 10. Thought it was a great race.
I agree. There was great battling from second on back, especially within that second, third, fourth, fifth place battle was really good to watch all race. But R.C. Enerson, I mean, he dominated tonight, led all the laps he had the opportunity to lead, and he got the win tonight in the FMX Daytona Road Course Challenge. So I want to congratulate him again. He's locked into the next round of the chase, which, of course, like you heard, he may have to miss some of those races, unfortunately, but we'll see what he can do and what he can't do. But for one thing, we can tell you he can drive a road course really well here in these Xfinity-type cars. So congratulations to R.C. Enerson. We'll catch you guys next week from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Bird Charlotte 100 next week, May 3rd. Same time, same place here on the Elite Racing Network. Thank you guys